Now that we got the pork belly story out of the way, welcome to Bothering the Band. My name is Ryan Bynek. With me, as always, Abigail Ann Levy. Abby, how are you doing today?
I am doing wonderful. How are you?
I'm a little tired, but I know that this is how all these interviews go. I'm a little tired, and then my energy peaks, and then we finish the interview, and I'm like I'm like ready to conquer the world. And I know that that's going to happen because we have a fantastic guest. Skye Wallace is proof that the world will never run out of good music. Just, I love discovering good music, and Skye Wallace makes good old rock and roll. Like, she's a badass, and I dig her music. Her new album is called Terribly Good, and it is pretty fucking good. Ladies and gentlemen, Bothering the Band with Skye Wallace.
Hello. I'm so sorry about that. Oh my goodness. I'm so sorry that I totally wrote that down wrong. Sorry to keep you guys waiting.
No worries at all. No worries at all. Thank you so much for being here,
Oh, of course. Thank you for having
Skye
me.
Wallace. Oh my God, we're so excited. We were just shooting the shit, telling stories of hanging out with bands in New York and just but yeah, welcome to
Amazing.
Bothering the Band. My name is Ryan. This is Abby. She produces
Hey,
Dig, and we're so happy to have you.
thank you for having me. Yeah, I'm stoked to chat with you guys. This is gonna be great.
Yeah. I don't know if you did a little digging, but we have some very dumb questions for you.
Love it.
Um, but we do know you noticed the Fred Armisen episode. We have a
Mhm.
Fred Armisen question for you as well.
Okay.
But I have to start off by saying that I was in Tampa, the Tampa, Florida area over um, New Year's,
Hmm.
and we were driving in my friend's car who has satellite radio, and this song comes on, and I was like, "This song is really fucking good." And I took a photo from the back seat of the dusty little thing, and it was your song,
Oh,
and then we just went down this rabbit hole. But I have to say, um,
that is so cool. I love that.
Terribly Good is so good.
Thank you so much. It was like a long process, so it's a very cool thing for it to finally be out in the world and to hear that it's getting to different places outside of, the country that I'm in is pretty cool. Just like you never know how it's going to be dispersed and how it's going to get to new ears. So that's really exciting.
I shared it with friends in LA today. I shared it with friends in Montana and New York. I was like,
Ah,
we're interviewing this musician tonight. Check out her stuff. It's
amazing. Thank you so much. That's,
of course.
that's a huge part of the growth process with music, right? It's just like word of mouth, like people telling friends, like that's huge. So thank you.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So I'm looking at my notes and laughing at it. How are you? And I have in parentheses, how are you? Is everything fine?
I'm good. Everything is pretty fine. I finished a bunch of touring at the end of last year, and I feel like it took a bit to recuperate just from the length of time and the amount of just the energy and just the go 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 kind of thing that touring is. And now I feel like very recuperated. I feel like very, I don't know, excited to like get creative again, start like writing new stuff and like kind of seeing what the next year looks like. It's nice to be excited and not just tired, I guess, post big tour and release because it was a long time in the making. So yeah, it took a lot, but feels good. Feels good to be on the other side of it, and it was a very cathartic process for sure. So everything is fine.
Everything is fine. You'll notice there are a few questions that loosely tie into song titles and album
I love
titles
that.
and all that shit.
Yeah.
Where are you in the world?
I am based out of Toronto, Canada. And I kind of grew up all over Canada. Like my parents live on the West Coast. But I've been in Toronto for like about 6 years, 7 years now. And it's a very cool city. It's kind of where stuff is really happening. And it's been a very cool time living there.
We have it's not even a contest. The And I think Toronto is now about to take over. our guests, we've had, over 100 episodes, and
Mhm.
it's like LA. I mean, everyone's spread out, but LA, Nashville, and Toronto, like by
Really?
far. Yeah.
Wow.
It's incredible. We just had Dan Mangan on the pod.
Amazing. I love
Yeah.
Dan.
Yeah,
Oh,
he was so much fun. His episode comes out Wednesday.
amazing. That's
Yeah.
very cool. Oh
But
man.
by
Yeah,
the
he
time you hear
was
this, it'll be already be out.
okay. Sweet. Excellent. Yeah. This is promo for the Dan Mangan episode. Yeah. I
It'll
love him.
be after the fact promo.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
Toronto, yeah, Toronto's super cool.
Mhm.
What's the most annoying stereotype that Americans say to you about Canada?
Um, I guess one funny thing is like the asking if you know so and so from wherever.
Which I just
Um,
did. Dan
yeah, I
Mangan.
mean, the only problem is often we'll be like, yeah, I do, unfortunately. And I'm not saying that, like, because Canada's not necessarily small. It's like a huge, especially Toronto, huge population. But unfortunately, sometimes people ask, and I do know those people. And I think, especially, I mean, the music scene is so interwoven. I think a lot of people know each other, and that goes across the country as well because it is so like it is a small world in a sense. Like if you don't know somebody, you've at least kind of like know, the name or you've interacted with them or a friend of a friend. So it is a funny thing to be like, well, Canada's not a small town, but then, you know, uh,
The
it
music
does.
industry, especially like the indie, modern indie, is a
Mhm.
small town,
Yeah.
and we've learned that just because people coming on and be like, oh yeah, this, like a Dan Megan like this, and
Mhm.
and we're like, I hope someone's doing that about bothering the band.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, the network continues to grow. I'm going
Yeah.
to talk to Dan about this. This is great.
Oh, awesome. Speaking of Canadian bands, you can only choose one: the Weaker Thans or the Tragically Hip.
Okay. I do have a really solid answer for this. I mean, I love the Tragically Hip. I'd say that like in a really subtle way, they influenced me a great deal. Just like my dad listened to them a lot growing up. I feel like even in recent years, I've gotten really, really into them. And I love everything that they're about. I love how they like incorporate poetry into this like kind of like bar rock thing that like it really accesses an emotional level in people in a way that they don't really notice. And I see just generations of people who come and are caught off guard by like the vulnerability that they feel from the music because it's rock, so it like lets your guard down, but then it really accesses those emotions. So I think that's really important. They're huge for Canada, but the Weaker Thans are my favorite band in the world. Like actually, if someone were to ask me what my favorite band is, it would be the Weaker Thans. John K. Samson's my favorite songwriter. Like can't really compete, I don't think.
So, without even that question, or very organically, I would say the Weaker Thans are the band that come up the most on the podcast.
Really?
It's wild, and they're one of my favorite bands. And I saw them
Yeah.
in New York like 15 years ago,
Wow.
and I've loved them forever. And just starting this off, we were like, someone would bring it up, and we're like, oh yeah, we love them. And then like another person, we're like, this is super weird, So we've got to
Whoa.
get
That's
we've got to get
because it's so
John on the
niche.
pod.
Like,
Yes,
like
very niche.
they're well known and widespread for sure. But like, I don't know. I feel like Weaker Thans fans are kind of like, I don't know, lurking beneath the surface everywhere.
Oh yeah, I have a
That's
Weaker
funny.
Than shirt, and I know I'm gonna be wearing it one day, like walking around with my kid, and like there's gonna be some other like music geek across the playground or some shit, and
I'll
be
be like,
like,
I hate Winnipeg.
yeah, they're gonna just drop a subtle hint.
Yes.
I
Yeah,
love it. I
totally.
love it.
They're such a good band. Yeah,
Such a good band.
honestly, they changed my changed my life.
But very poetic as well. Like you said about the
Very.
Tragically Hip, John
Mhm.
has a book out. You can't even buy, I mean,
I have that book.
you do? Oh
I
my God. You
do.
had to get it early then,
Yeah.
because now if you try to buy it, it's like $400 on Amazon.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I have it from many years ago. But yeah, I think that was kind of what first got me into really songwriting was just his lyricism and his like the way that he looks at songwriting as like, because you can write about so many things, but you can look at something like so micro that's like, like looking at the stream of like the raindrop falling down the window of a bus or something, like he
Mhm.
can make such a tiny, seemingly insignificant thing so beautiful and so meaningful. And I think that's like, I don't know. And then also just their riffs, everything's there. So yeah, it's pretty cool.
I couldn't agree with you more. Oh, we could talk about weaker thans all day. How do you describe your music? Because it's tough to describe. When I shared it with
Yeah.
friends today, I was like, just most of the time as a music like geek, we're talking to fellow music. We're like, just listen.
Mhm.
I'm not gonna try to. So how do you describe it?
Yeah, it is hard, right? Because it's I think there's like a lot of different influences. I started off as more folk singer-songwriter kind of thing. So I think that's kind of where a lot of like, some of my earlier albums, like the last one, are all very like story based. But then I kind of just slowly started growing, adding a band, adding drums. I added distortion on my acoustic guitar and eventually moved electric. And I feel like now it's this like rock thing, and it leans in different directions. Like there's still like a few moments of like the softer, more vulnerable. There's still moments of like, a live show especially, there's like a few thrashier punk moments, but I'd say through and through it's a rock and roll kind of thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's good, solid rock and roll.
Yeah, I love to
There's
rock.
I greatly appreciate it. Abby and I appreciate it.
Awesome. Ah.
Okay, have you ever been skydiving?
I haven't, no.
Me neither.
I I wonder if I would,
Yeah, I
if
was
I'm
gonna say
going
any
to.
desire.
Yes and no. Like the practical side of me is like, well, do I need to feel that thrill? Like, is it gonna like complete me in a way that's like I'm gonna be scared and then it'll be over. And is it worth the fear? Like, what am I gonna get out of it? But on the other hand, like it would be really awesome. So
Yeah.
I should probably, right?
Let's do a bothering the band skydiving trip.
Yeah.
I'll wait for you guys on the ground.
Yeah. I've done way weirder things. So like, why not that?
Can you tell us any of the other weirder things?
Okay, yeah, okay. This is the first thing that came to mind. I did the toe shot in the Yukon. So there's a person's toe that is kept on in salt at the bar. And they've been doing this for years and years. This is in Dawson City, Yukon. And they put the toe in a shot glass and you have to shoot it. And you don't swallow the toe, but it does like kiss the lips a little bit. And I did do that, unfortunately. Um, so
So it's like a mummified human toe.
exactly, yeah. And now there's
Is it
actually
a
like
big toe or a
it's a small
pinky
toe.
toe?
It's a small
Somewhere in
toe.
the middle.
Apparently, people keep donating their toes when they get frostbitten and fall off. So there's a couple of like uh toes just in case something happens to it, but they actually did put a fine on because there were people who would come in and swallow it as like look at me, I swallowed the toe, but now it's a $2,500 fine if you do that. So it's a very
Wow.
weird thing. Um, but I got a little certificate afterwards when I did it. So
That's bananas.
yeah.
Abby mentioned you recorded a song in Yukon.
I actually, so yeah, I did a songwriting residency. I was the songwriter in residence for the Dawson City Music Festival, and
Mhm.
that was the entire month of January. They brought me up there and put me in a house, which was amazing. And I just got to write for like a month. And it's super cold at that time. It's like between like minus 35 and minus 45 any given day. And it's super dark. So it's only light for like a couple of hours every day. So there was a lot of time to write. And I actually wrote most of a record there. And it was really, really incredible. And it also had like lots of community elements. Like I was involved in like the girls rock camp that was happening there. And like they put on concerts and I got to curl a whole bunch too, which was great. And yeah, it was like a whole immersive experience. And then got to go up again that summer for the festival itself. So many songs came out of it. So many like, I don't know, just the things like pieces of my life that, I don't think twice about all these songs now, but they were made in this place that I'd never been before. And it's really like it, the winter is hard there, but it's really stark and beautiful in a huge way. So I just like, it has a really soft spot in my heart. Like I would want to go back there anytime.
You're the first guest we've had who spent time in the Yukon. Do you call it the Yukon or just Yukon?
The Yukon.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's a cool thing to have the in front of
For
a
sure.
location. It's badass.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
only know it through like cartoons. Like it's an untouchable fugazi of a thing. Especially we grew up in Florida.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
Abby's in
Very
a little
distant.
winter wonderland now, but
Yeah.
the Yukon. It's like so exotic.
Yeah, it's so far away, especially from Florida. Like that's a hefty distance for sure. And it feels like another planet, especially in the winter sometimes, it's just like it's very different from the winters you would experience even south of Canada. Like it's very, very different there.
Wow. Very cool.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen a UFO?
No, I don't think so. I sometimes wonder about this one night, but I think my mind was playing tricks on me. I do have like quite an imagination. So I was like, my parents took me to see Signs at a drive-in.
Yeah. Wow,
That was in
cool.
a cornfield. And we were living in a house that was surrounded by a cornfield. So I was, I was
How
fairly
old were
freaked
you?
out. I was like 14, like it was fine. But I was definitely freaked out.
You're a
So
child. Yeah.
yeah. So, I mean, they had no idea it was going to be that scary. They were just like, oh, sorry, guys. This is not what we expected. We had no idea it was going to be about a cornfield.
Oh, the drive-in is a great question. I'm going to definitely use that on another guest. Abby, what's the last drive-in movie you saw?
Tom and Jerry.
Ooh,
with Enid and Charlie.
Oh, that's right. When you were down here,
So that was what 2 years ago, almost.
2 years ago, yeah.
That movie came out.
Wow.
And it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I was a little disappointed because, I remember like my childhood and you take the little speaker and you do the thing, but now it's all Bluetooth. So that wasn't as fun, but it was still really cool to go. And they still had like the old school snack stand and the little commercial with all the like dancing food.
Yeah. Let's all go to the lobby.
Yeah, good fun.
You don't want me to sing it. We'll let you do that.
Oh, come on. Let's harmonize. Ooh.
Oh, Abby, you have a voice like a choir of angels.
Yeah. The whole choir. Whoa.
The whole choir.
That's
Do you bite your nails?
Not really. Not anymore. I did when I was little.
Do you crack your knuckles?
I do. I love to do it.
You like it? Okay.
I do. Yeah, it does feel good. Yeah. Crack my back too.
I do too. And I crack my knuckles all the time, my back all the time. And it's one of the, now that I'm a dad and I'm like, don't do this. And I'm just like,
do as I say, not as I do.
Okay. Do you find it weird? Abby, I don't even know. Do you crack your knuckles?
Oh yeah. My favorite one is the one down here.
Oh yeah. You gotta get that one. We've talked about this. Now it's clicking.
Yeah, there's like
that one
down here, and you like push on this part of your hand. Like that's a good one when you get it.
Okay.
Get it. Here's a fun question for all and everyone listening. Okay, we grew up cracking our knuckles, the three of us, and I'm sure someone in our family said it was bad. However, when you go to a chiropractor, all they do is crack your other bones. I think it's made up. I don't think it's bad.
I think it has been debunked actually, that it's actually not bad for you. I don't know I have no idea where this information came from, but I seem to remember reading. So yeah, we need fact checking, but I seem to remember reading that it's not actually, it doesn't do anything. It doesn't do actually anything.
It says if you do it too much, you could injure ligaments, but
for sure. Yeah.
I was always told you'd get arthritis.
Yeah. I think that's it, that it doesn't specifically cause arthritis.
Yeah. But no, it just says it's fine. Just don't do it too much.
Just don't do it too much. As with anything.
I was told it would make your knuckles get bigger.
Oh.
Well, I have really big knuckles, so maybe. Like my middle knuckles are weirdly big.
I do too, but I got into like fights when I was a kid and like skateboarding and falling and writing intense poems. Another question based off one of your songs. You have a beautiful curtain that is like a aqua.
Yeah, it's like a
pearl
turquoise.
blue.
Turquoise. Absolutely. Yeah.
This is, I can see the walls, but tell the listener, what color are the walls where you are?
Kind of like an off gray, grayish white. I'd say like a grayish white, a very, very, very light gray.
And do you have any other walls in your home that are funky colors?
I do have a wall that's very similar to this, like blue. It's like a little on the green side. It's kind of like a teal, but it's just like one wall in the kitchen and one wall in the living room that's like that. And they're like, if you're looking at them, one's behind the other, so that it looks like the whole thing is all blue. It's very cool. And right next to it is like this big red radiator. So cool.
I have that same curtain in my living room, and my accent wall is also slightly more green.
No. Oh my God. That's so cool.
Yeah. And I live in the woods, so of course I put a big giant palm tree on it.
Yeah. Yeah, you did. That's amazing. That's the best choice, in my opinion.
Thank you.
It's amazing. So you mentioned in one of your correspondences with Abby, and probably, you're like, oh, all right, these guys are legit. What's your favorite Fred Armisen role?
Ooh. I mean, I do like Portlandia a lot. Like I watched that a lot as like a teen / like early 20s. And then I think like the only one, the one that, not the only one, but the one that's coming to mind over and over was like his stint in The Last Man on Earth.
Oh yeah.
He was such a funny character. He was like a serial killer, wasn't he? I
forgot about that too.
Yeah.
He's so I'd say everything. So
yeah, he's in literally everything.
He pops up in Clerks 3. He pops up. I just started watching Wednesday on Netflix.
Oh, cool.
Fester in that.
Right.
What a great career. I would like that career. Of just
amazing. Yeah. He's
parts,
Totally. He's everywhere.
So now that you're rocking out on stage, have you ever purposely smashed your guitar on stage?
I haven't. I don't really have, I don't have the disposable guitars for that yet. That's a dream, but I haven't been able to afford doing that at this point in my, I mean, maybe it's one of those things where you just find like a $50, throwaway guitar and do it.
Just try it.
Yeah, I think I need to try it. I did my first crowd surf the other day, or like a month ago. So it was like my first time surfing while playing guitar. It was awesome.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's a little dicey for ladies though.
It was, you know what? It was surprisingly, everything was supported. I was like taken out, and then like somebody had taken my like cable and was like feeding it so that it came in properly. And then everybody brought me back up and put me back on stage, and I finished the song on stage.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
That's amazing.
I was taken care of. It was very nice.
Those rock moments that I'm like, oh, those nuggets, I'm like, that looks so fun and so cool.
Yeah, totally.
And the energy.
Yeah.
I can only imagine the drug that feels like.
Oh,
well, and you know that guy with the cable was like, and then I fed the cable back to make sure it ended perfectly, and we got her back on stage. Like he tells that his side of that story. I guarantee.
Absolutely, yeah. No, it was definitely a group effort, but it was very tender. Like I know it was a rock star moment, but it was a very tender moment.
Oh, that's cool. And then that guy is also going to listen to this in like 3 or 4 weeks and be like, "That was me, I swear."
Oh, yeah, exactly. It's all coming together.
What's your favorite chain pizza?
That's a good question. Chain pizza. I know, like, there's a bunch of them in Toronto that I really like. There's like the Blondies and like,
Do you have Jets there?
no,
No Jets?
no.
Okay.
Maker's Pizza is really good. But like the one that I get more often than not is Domino's because it's so cheap and it's never bad. Sometimes it's not the greatest, but it's consistent and it's cheap and a late night pizza option. It's open late. It's always available, So I gotta say, consistency wise, Domino's is my go-to.
I hear you, and I think they've really upped their game. I was a Papa John's. If I was getting chain pizza, I was Papa John's. And in the last couple of years, it's Domino's.
Yeah.
Also, if you sign up for their app, yes. If you sign up for their app, you get like a free pizza, like
that's right.
Every like 2 pizzas, 3
yes.
pizzas.
Yeah, it's amazing. So, you can't beat that. I remember I was living in Edmonton for like 6 months one time, and all of my friends were going to the U of A, and there was a Domino's really close to campus. And so we'd go there on the way home, and it was 50% off for students every day. Like,
Brilliant.
So Brilliant. It was just like, you couldn't afford not to go there.
I am old, so I can't eat it as much now, but I do appreciate Domino's.
I love pizza. I love a pizza.
I love pizza. Have you ever either of you met like some psychopath that's like, I don't really like pizza?
No,
I have. But we did interview somebody that they eat the pizza backwards because the crust was the point of the pizza.
Pardon?
Who was it? Who was it?
Oh my God, who was that?
I know.
Was that Adam
Not to
Turla?
shame anybody.
Maybe because he owns a pizza place.
Do you know Murder by Death?
Yeah.
So yeah, it might have been him because he owns a pizza place, him and his wife.
That checks out.
It might have been him, but they were like the crust. Yeah, they're like, if you don't have a good like base and crust,
yes,
like,
which I agree,
are just toppings.
He goes
like
Italy every summer with his family. Like his family's from Italy.
Okay,
but I think it's like past that. I think we're not talking. He's not like Little Caesars. I love the crust.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I do agree that like the dough is really important. Like if you have a good dough, you're in good standings, in my opinion. But I don't know that it's the point of the pizza.
No.
How do you feel about pineapple on pizza?
I love pineapple on pizza.
Me too.
I love it. I love a sweet and salty thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm having pizza for dinner. It's a Cuban sandwich on a pizza.
Whoa, that's wild. My favorite pizza is unfortunately an olive and pineapple pizza. It's so
wow. What a combination.
My go-to is pepperoni, jalapeno, and pineapple.
Ooh,
wow.
Undeniable.
Yep,
that's good.
The sweet, the salty, the spicy.
Yeah, that's a move.
So good.
Both of your faces were like,
You got to get it right. It's like, I'm really obsessed with nachos too. And it's like, it's a similar thing. You have to have like proper, cheese dispersal. You have to have like the right balance of flavors. It's just,
I saw a tweet recently that someone was like, enough of these nacho towers. I want a nacho like spread out on a cookie sheet so everything gets hit. And I was like,
absolutely.
Yeah, like why is this even?
That's how it should be done. They should do that and then layer up if they need to, like layer those things on top of each other. But I haven't kind of like semi-serious nacho Instagram wherein I review nachos. And I haven't done one for a bit, but there was a nacho place in Vancouver that did have like the big tray. It's not open anymore, but it was called Foundation, and it had like the big trays of nachos.
What is the handle?
It's called the Aficionacho.
Brilliant. We love a good play on.
It's so perfect.
A little pun for your
I'm having a
pleasure.
Aficionacho.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm in just with that. Any sort of pun, play on words, or alliteration, I'm sold. I'm just like, follow.
Love an alliteration. Yeah. It has been a while since I posted. I think it kind of stalled around 2020, but I'm fixing to get back into it.
Well, if you ever make it to Wyoming in the summer, there's a place near me that claims to have
the best.
But see, I disagree though, because they do the big thing. But like I used to wait tables there.
Okay.
On these huge platters, and then they're really tall, and people would like, when they order it, we're like, that's for 4 to 6 people, and they're like, you haven't met us. And then like halfway through, they're like, I was like, I told you we had a half order. And it was always fun to watch people struggle.
Amazing. I love to see it.
Welcome back to the Nacho Podcast.
Wow.
Do you consider yourself a nacho snob?
No. I think it's hard to screw up nachos. So if I'm not satisfied with them, that means that there was some laziness going on. Like we skimped on the cheese maybe, or, there wasn't enough care. But like overall, I'm easy to please. I'm not,
These nachos taste like there's no love in them.
I know. I don't know. It's hard to get a perfect score with me for nachos, but I'd say overall, easy to get. That's pretty good from me.
I love it.
Nacho talk.
Nacho talk.
What was your first job?
My first job was working in this bakery called Wheatberries. And it's on the Sunshine Coast in British Columbia. And I worked there for years. I worked at like this one location that I moved to like the ferry terminal, because there's this place that I grew up. I didn't grow up there, but I went to high school there. And it's technically a peninsula, but you can only get there by boat. And it's across the water from Vancouver.
Okay.
And so there's this main ferry terminal where everybody would kind of be like going to Vancouver, et cetera, back and forth. And there was a Wheatberries set up in the ferry terminal. So I like moved there. I like managed it for a while when I was like 17. That was like my start. That was my first job. Yeah. Yeah.
They were like, we see potential in this young lady.
Yeah. Yeah. It was awesome. But it was like, it's so funny, like, because it was a coffee shop and I didn't drink coffee going into that job / like the whole time. So I'd go, and at one point when I was managing that one, I would go in and you'd get there at like 5 a.m. and it was this little kiosk, and all the doors and windows would be closed while you're getting ready. You're like grinding the coffee, etc. And on my one day off every week, I would get these like horrible headaches. And I was just like to my mom, I was like, what's going on? And she was like, just have a cup of coffee and see how you feel. And I was like, I don't drink coffee. She's like, just try it. So I did. And the headache went away. So I was getting these caffeine headaches because I was in this tiny little area, like sniffing the fumes basically for 8 hours, 6 days a week. And I would get a caffeine high from that apparently. So then I started drinking coffee and here we are.
Love coffee.
I love coffee.
We love coffee on this podcast.
Oh yeah.
So that's a cool question too. It's like, when did you start, Abby? When did you start drinking coffee?
Regularly, probably like 21 or 2.
Yeah, I think that's pretty standard. I don't know. You see some teens like rocking Starbucks, and you're like, is that too young? I don't know.
I love it so much. I tried going off it a couple times in my life, and it's just
not worth it.
Joyless. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, joyless. That is well put. How do you feel about Tim Hortons?
Okay. So, in Canada, when you tour, it's really big. Canada's really big, and there's a lot of space where there's not a ton available, and usually sometimes there's only Tim Hortons available. So I'm simultaneously in this relationship with it where it's like a beacon. It's necessary. It is coffee. It is sustenance, but there's also like a bit of resentment there because it's like the only thing, and there's not a lot of nutritional options. And they used to have good coffee, but now they went to a different coffee brand and it is not as good as it usually was. I think actually McDonald's now has that brand they used to have, that bean. And so McDonald's coffee is better, in my opinion, than Tim Hortons.
Would you go, okay, you're on the road, you see a McDonald's, you see Tim Hortons, you see a Starbucks. Which one are you picking?
I'd say McDonald's.
Okay.
But my tour go-to is actually Subway.
Wow.
Because those are like breakfast wraps. They're very inexpensive, and you can load that thing up with veggies. And sometimes on tour, it's hard to get your veggies. So
indeed,
it's my go-to. But also, you know what? Bringing an AeroPress is a really good move as well, because then you can bring your own coffee on the road and make it as you go. Mm-hmm.
Oh. It's nachos and coffee. How do you feel about someone at the same time eating nachos and drinking coffee? Is that weird?
I'm not going to yuck anyone's yum, but I don't know. I wouldn't. I couldn't imagine a moment where I'd be like, where I couldn't imagine a time of day that would make sense for that. Because I don't really want nachos before the afternoon. I don't really want coffee after noon. Or else I'm awake forever.
Have you ever had chilaquiles?
Mm-mm.
They're like they're delicious. I'm not going to describe it. Abby, can you do it? You want to do it?
No, I want to hear you do it first.
They're like soggy breakfast nachos.
Ooh.
With like beans and like a fried egg and usually avocado or something like that.
I can mess with that.
Now they're kind of kitschy. Some places have them on the menu, but I worked in restaurants forever in New York, and like that's what the back of the house staff ate, and they would just give me some too, and it was so good.
I can mess with that.
It was
put an egg on top.
Yeah. And then you like sometimes they do like shredded, it's cheese and beans and whatever, a lot of jalapenos and shit. Chicken.
Ooh, yeah. I like that.
Starving.
Yeah.
Let's move on from the food. Okay. This question comes from my little sister, and she goes, you should ask this on the pod. So how do you save people in your phone? And is it by the person's full name, or is it their name and how you know them?
For me, it's full name.
Okay.
Because things can fluctuate over time, I guess. Like we're no longer roommates, but I do have my one friend, Devo, as Devo roommate in there. So that's like the exception to the rule. But for the most part, it's full name. Even my parents. Full name. I don't know why.
Middle name too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, that's great. Abby, how do you do it?
I think it's 50-50. Like initially when I meet you, if we don't get to the part of full name, I'll be like, oh, Ryan from that one place. And then as we talk more, like fill in the blanks later.
Yeah.
I just changed my friend Joseph's number. He was a friend of a friend, and it was Joseph, Nick's friend. Also, everyone calls him Joey. I'm the only one that calls him Joseph.
Yeah.
And he saw me like whatever. He's like, am I on your phone as Joseph's Nick's friend? And I was like, yeah. And he made me change it right in front of him. But I know that I'm Ryan Poet or Ryan Podcast in a ton of people's shit. So
that's nice.
No, like if I don't know, like I would say just first name is very close people,
Yeah.
And then
you're not going to get confused as to who they are.
Like my sisters are just Heather and Audra.
Yeah. What am I?
Abby. It's just Abby.
Yeah.
Made it to close.
You made it.
Right.
So dumb. Okay. This question comes from Abby texting it to me last night. Would you rather be trapped, and I just skewed it a little bit. Would you rather be trapped in a mall overnight with a gorilla or a bunch of snakes?
Oh. Are the snakes like dispersed throughout the mall?
They're everywhere.
They're everywhere.
Well, they're not like blanketing the thing. By the way, you guys are frozen. How am I doing?
Can you hear us?
You guys froze.
Weird.
But yes,
Okay.
snakes.
I would say I'm going to say the gorilla, just because there's one of them. You can kind of keep tabs on them. If things do get dangerous, there's like spots that I think I'd be able to fit into that the gorilla couldn't. Yeah. And just many snakes. I don't know. I don't know if they could be anywhere. I don't know how poisonous they are. I don't want to mess with that.
That's a tough question. I love your intensity for the listeners. You got a little bit more animated. Your eyes really dialed in.
I gotta answer it properly, like to the best of my ability.
Abby, what are you choosing?
I'm going with the gorilla too.
I just feel like that gorilla finds you. You are fucked.
Yeah, but I'm in a mall, so I have a lot of weapons. Chances are there's a sporting goods store in there.
Maybe where you guys are from, there's definitely not a fucking sporting like guns in a.
Okay, well,
I'm gonna go hide in the Hot Topic.
Yeah. Also, maybe the gorilla would be your friend.
And also that maybe there's a costume store and you just dress up as something bigger and scarier and scare it away.
Ooh.
Like a gorilla costume.
Or like one of those big inflatable T-Rexes. It would probably kill you.
It looks like you're riding it.
Yeah.
There's something here with this. There's a show.
Yeah.
There's like a Japanese game show here or something.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this is a question, and this is just a opinion question for me. You buy a brand new MacBook Pro. Do you save the box?
I'd say my inclination is to save it, but I am trying to let go of that. Like I've got a shoebox from some new boots that I've just got in my office, and I still have it for some reason, but I know I need to get rid of it. It's
Are they
so
fancy
easy.
boots or like
They're not. They're
outdoor
not.
boots?
No, they're outdoor boots. But they're like they're Vans. They're cool, and I'm just like, oh, it's a nice box
cool.
though. I don't know. Maybe I can do something with it. My mom's an artist too, and she definitely reutilizes like boxes and stuff, and did growing up. But so I see the potential value, but like realistically, I'm not going to do anything with it. So I think I am moved to get rid of it if I'm not going to reuse it.
Yeah, I'm trying to be like that too, where I just come from a generation of like save it in case you gotta take it back. I'm looking at it over here. I got this like 3 months ago.
Okay,
so
it's a 3 month box.
Yeah, it's 3 month. Get rid of that box.
I don't know. I think there's merit. There's merit both ways, because what if you do need something in there?
Yeah. What if you need, like, I don't know. What if you call and you're like, hey, it's acting funny. And they're like, where's the box?
Where's the box? No box, no deal.
Well, I have all the information. No box, no deal.
Yeah.
Did you ever have a goth phase or an emo phase?
I had emo phase for sure. Yeah, definitely. Was definitely into that emo music, was definitely emo on the outside and also the inside. Had a lot of feelings.
Yeah.
Didn't go through a goth phase, unfortunately.
No goth phase.
No. But yeah. I mean, life is long.
Yeah.
So it could still happen.
The late goth phase is so great. If you're like, I'm 40. It's time for my goth phase.
That's, you know what? I'm going to set a timer. And then on that day, that's when I'm going to do it.
What would your rapper name be?
Ooh. Let me think here.
I mean, I'll be honest with you. Skye Wallace unto itself is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Skye Dub.
Yeah. Skye Dub. Let's go Skye Dub. Yeah.
It's like auto-tuned.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, exactly. No, I like Skye Dub. It's concise. It's good. Yeah. That's mine. How about you two? Do you have rapper names?
Yes. I would just be Martha Sunshine.
That's nice.
Till you meet her.
I like that.
I don't know. What's your favorite noise?
I don't know if I've ever really thought about this. Um, there's a certain like crunch of the snow that I really like. Like when you're stepping on it, it's like a crunch, crunch, crunch. I remember I had like a Winnie the Pooh book when I was little that had all the like sound effects as buttons on the side of the book. And one of them was that snow crunching footsteps. And I think that might be my favorite. So
it's a good answer.
Yeah,
it's a very good answer.
Mm.
What's the last music, because this happened with your music, that just stopped you in your tracks and you were like, what is this?
Yeah. I'd say there's this one song by Akintoye. It's called Respectfully. And that one was like, what is this song? And it's so cool. And then there's this one song that has been following me around lately that I'm just like this, like the chorus, it's just so like haunting and wild. It's called Familiar by Agnes Obel. And like, I just love it. That was like recent where I was just like, what is this? I need to find out more.
Don't you just love that?
Mm-hmm.
I love it. I love that we'll never run out. A lot of people, back in my day, the music was better. You're like, no, there's good music comes out every day. It'll never stop.
There's so much. Like,
it's overwhelming.
Yeah, it's amazing. But yeah, it's hard to get to it all. You can't get to it all.
Indeed. Okay, I have to ask because it's popping up all over social. Is there a story behind your awesome hat? Your knit?
So
toque? What do you call it?
It's technically it's a toque.
Yeah.
But it's technically a balaclava. This toque. I've been wearing it a lot. And so this person I know, they're called Not Naked Balaclavas, and it's spelled KNOT. They're based out of Toronto, and they do a lot of like just like knitted sculpture and stuff like that. But they started doing balaclavas. And can I show you?
Yeah.
Okay, sick. One sec.
That's amazing.
Check it out. So it's very good. It's very warm for the cold days. But then I just flip it up, and then it's a toque, and I like a big toque. So this fulfills my needs for sure.
You got a lot of hair, and we've found a couple photos. I think anyone with long hair, male, female, long hair, rock star, lead. There are awesome photos of lifting it back up, and it's all going everywhere. I'm like, man, that's cool.
Yeah, that hair movement.
Yeah.
It's like, I feel like I've had shorter hair on stage, and I just feel like it's my mojo, because it's like, it does really like, it enhances the movement. It's an accessory in a lot of ways. Like you can move with it. You can use it to like accentuate feeling. It's I don't know. I like the long hair. I'm going to get out of my...
I used to have long hair. Yes.
Did you? I'm going to get out of my balaclava.
You have to stay in that.
Imagine.
Yeah, we're having a good time. This is fun. I can't wait to look up that company. I can only wear it one day a year, but
okay, there we go.
I dig it. I dig it.
Yeah.
You're also... Go ahead. Sorry.
No, all good.
I was going to say, you're also one of the. We've only had a couple of people that do the headset mic.
I like the headset mic.
I just got this. I
just got it too.
Fifth episode, maybe sixth episده, and it's working out pretty good.
It's awesome. It. Well, like I did that on TikTok where I'd use like the little shitty mic from the iPhone headphones, and as like a funny thing, and I was just like, you know what, it's time to maybe upgrade. So I got this, and I think it's kind of funny. I kind of look like a little gamer guy.
You're gonna go. I don't know anything about video games, so I won't even make a joke. My favorite. Nah, this is not even true. Do you follow us on Instagram?
No, but I haven't been on Instagram for a little bit, so I'm going to now.
I will say that there's ulterior motive. This is where we shoehorn in. Everyone follow Bothering the Band on Instagram. Also follow Skye Wallace Music on Instagram too. It's loads of fun.
So much fun.
The video of you dancing is cool. We like that a lot. Yeah. You can kick really high.
I can. Yeah. That was a funny night. That was like in the summer, we just messed around. Just me and my really good friend directed it. And we just like went around, and then I like dive into the lake at the end, following the moon. It's pretty fun.
Very
little
cool.
feral energy.
Yes, indeed. Can you please come to Wyoming and Florida?
Yes, I haven't gone to the States too much, other than like a couple of conferences. And we're going to South by this year. So that'll be kind of like the first stint in the States. And like the idea is to just kind of like start putting feelers out for like, like team members, like how we're going to like go about breaking into that market. So I really want the point of what I was saying is I really want to come to Wyoming and to just the States in general, because it's such a cool place, and everybody I know that's toured there has had such good times and good people.
We'll support you 100%. Do you know, this just hit me. Do you know Eamon McGrath?
Yes. Yeah,
you know
for
that
sure.
Guy?
Yeah,
he was
absolutely.
one of our first guests. That guy's great.
Really cool. Yeah, he's such an awesome dude.
Pick his brain. He's very creative with his touring.
Awesome.
That's what made me think of it. And if you could interview any musician, live or dead, one, who would you choose? And two, in this vein of bothering the band with our silly, stupid questions, what would you ask them?
I'd love to talk to Willie Nelson, because I bet he has a million stories to tell. And yeah, I would ask him everything. Like, what would I ask him? I'd probably freeze up like this, to be honest, but I'd want to know like what, what his experience was like as like a front runner of like the cannabis culture, and like what was his experience like over the course of time, being so like such a prolific, like lengthy career in music. Like what has he seen change in the industry, in how it's consumed? Like I just like all these, there's so many things. Like I feel like he's been to a million parties and talked to a million interesting people, and I would want to know it all. So Willie Nelson.
I saw a meme yesterday or today that said, I feel like Willie Nelson's been the same age my whole life.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh my God, it's so true.
So true. I love the guy.
Love him. And on that note, what is next for Skye Wallace?
Well, that record's out. Terribly Good is out, which I'm very stoked about. And so now I'm already kind of getting into writing mode. So like this month, the next month, I'm just going to be like writing a bunch. We have a couple of shows, but for the most part, going to South by in March is going to be the thing. Going to do like just the run of summer festivals in the summer, and then going back to Europe probably in the fall, maybe in the spring as well. And then somewhere in between, recording again and kind of pedal to the metal on a new record. So I'm very excited, and it's nice to be like creating again and like just thinking about what the new sounds are going to be, where like which direction sonically it's going to go, and I don't know, feel very invigorated in general right now.
Oh my God, your vibe is so great. So thank you so
thanks.
much. That's our program.
Woo!
Honestly, you're there. So I can't wait in a couple of years, be like, when you won't be doing, our podcast.
Oh, please. No way.
No, but we wish you all the luck, and we love your tunes, and thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thanks for this. This was very fun, and I love the questions. I love it's just it turns the interview on its head in a way that is very fresh and needs to happen. It should be that way. Yeah. You guys rock.